Everybody, it's me, Andrew. Get out into nature and tune in for yourself. Resonate with the Earth's electromagnetic field via 432 Hz, the universal frequency. Balance out psychologically and emotionally, and further strengthen your brain and your heart's coherence as well. Get a plant based diet going for yourselves today and nurture yourself right back into life. We are literally herbivores in our nature. Further balance out your physical body's pH level and get with alkalinity. Then you can generate some static electricity, sending me some love telepathically. Set attention to your mind and set intention to communicate. That is all there is to telepathy. You are now tuning in to great days. So today I wanted to talk about meditation and dissolving into the formless, right? I'm going to get into the experience and I guess just get into depth, right? So let's get into this. So meditation is I guess you can call meditation the art of dying, right? Because whenever you meditate, you're expanding awareness, and the expansion of awareness is dying, right? You can literally have the experience of death as you meditate. Dying is something that it happens to you, right? You can't take death as an action, but death is something that happens to you, right? So it's not an action. It's the same thing with meditation. You don't do meditation. Meditation is something that happens because it's a state that you can come into, right? Um, Meditation happens of itself. You can observe nature, just the creatures. The creatures are in states of meditation. And it's the same for you. You can come in and out of meditative states. So you don't actually do the meditation. It's just something that happens to you, right? And it's the same thing with death. You don't do death. You can't just take death as an action, but death is just something that happens to you, right? So in this way, they're one and the same, death and meditation. When you die, you're shifting awareness into a higher, or you're just dissolving away into the formless, because the form is shed and you come into a formlessness, right? You can come into the same formlessness through meditation. Meditation is the art of dying. You can die, you can allow yourself to die, but it's something that happens to you. You can't get the ego twisted in it because there is no ego. So there is no, don't get it confused, right? Because you don't do meditation. Meditation is something that just happens of itself, like any experience. Experience is just something that happens. So you can find the states of meditation, or you can allow yourself to fall into deeper and deeper easefulness, which is synonymous with health. Peacefulness as well is also synonymous with health. When you're peaceful, you're healthy. If you're in a constant pain, you're more likely to attack out of that pain. as it's trying to be treated by the divine, right? Because the divinity, which is all is divine, the universal oneness, mindedness, is always healing you from the egoics, helping you to transcend, right? Every moment you can tune into that. If you just shift your awareness, or if you allow your awareness to shift into that, it's a wavelength, you can ride into that wavelength. So meditation, you can find the states of meditation, your natural rhythms, come into that state of meditation and dissolve into the nothingness, into the formlessness. This is the universal mind and beyond. And this is going to take you beyond physical experience, incomplete. So let it be. Don't conflict yourself. The opposites that are causing tension are complementary, right? Keep that in your realization, because it helps to dissolve away into unity consciousness. If you continue to dive into that, or if you continue to be in that consciousness, you can eventually dissolve further into formlessness, which is unity consciousness. There's no boundaries to the body. The space around me is an extension of my body, though you can't see it because we are fixated within a certain state of awareness, but the electromagnetic field is there. And that electromagnetic field can be crystallized and seen as an extension, because it's exactly what it is. This is not the actual body. This is just a certain formula or a form. All the boundaries of it have been conceptualized. But if you're able to recede into deeper dimensions of the mind through meditative states, entrances to deeper experience or realms or planes of being, then you can definitely experience something beyond the minuteness, right? But this happens through meditation. And meditation, you don't do meditation. I want to say it's less of a practice, more of an experience, right? Like enlightened experience, or people who have come to enlightenment, it's something that happens spontaneously, because the universe is spontaneity, right? Maybe it doesn't have to be, but these experiences are just something that happens, right? So fall into the deep love of the universe, because it's all there really is. You can get it twisted, you can get it conflicted, over-identified and over-attached with the ego, which is the self-identity, who you have thought yourself to be, but that's not the reality. The reality is love. Everything is in absolute bliss. In order to actually experience that, you need to come into that meditative state. Which is not a practice. It's not a posture either. It's none of that. It's not a stance. You're not standing for anything. It's not a religion. It's nothing. That's formlessness. It's absolute love. You don't have to do anything for it, but you're already there. You just have to realize it. And the realization is something that happens of itself, which is the meditation. Which meditation you can't do. You don't do meditation. It's just a happening, because it's a state of being, right? Um, for example, you can take psychedelics, but they're only putting you in tune with a certain wavelength that you can achieve at any time or any space. You don't actually need a substance in order to get to that same wavelength. But the world sees it so, which is why we have the substances in the first place, right? So there's the little conspiracy of it. Um, you can get into any wavelength if you're able to realize it. And you can dissolve into the formless. This is really what you want, because this is the death of the ego. That's death, period. When you die, you're dissolving into the formlessness, the bardo, or the in-between spaces, the void, right? So, listen to nature. Nature is going to put you onto that experience. You are part of nature, or you are nature. So listen to yourself before you listen to any other person. But you can also listen to any other person as well, because everything is nature. But listen to nature, connect yourself with nature, and it's going to put you onto the experience. Connect yourself with Shiva. Shiva is an aspect of nature, the destructive aspect. Put yourself onto him, connect with him. He's going to give you this experience, which is death. He can kill you. And all that's left is unconditional, absoluteness, something beyond the body, right? And this isn't an imaginative concept. This is something that you're imagining that can barely be mentally grasped. This is something that you're experiencing fully, right? So it's not lost. It's only a gain. And it's bliss, right? The experience is felt. It's not imagined, right? You can imagine women. You can actually come to be with women. What's the difference is that you're imagining them. You can't do anything. It doesn't grant you the same nourishment, as actually being and having the experience. So the transcendence of the body needs not to be imaginative, something that you're imagining, contemplating, but it's something that you're immersively, fully experiencing, like imagining women and being with women, right? This is completely different until it's not. But then you would have to have transcended the body in order, right? So dissolve into the formlessness, transcend the body, come into the meditative state. You don't need to follow any type of stance, any type of movement, any action, anything. You don't have to follow anything. You just have to be who you are. And that's all that is needed. Death is inevitable. And if you desire the death, then you can die before you die, right? You can accelerate that. You can get to the you can get to the point, you know. If it's your point, then you can die. Find whatever it is that's going to kill you. Connect yourself with Shiva, he'll kill you. Allow him to. It's going to be doing you a favor. But dissolve the ego. This is easy. It happens of itself because it's an experience that just happens. It's given to you for free, liberated, because you're freed from any type of bonds. You're bonded to something, then you have chains. The moment that you give up that bond or those chains, you're liberated, right? So you can bond yourself to a post like a horse. It has a rope around its neck, around its harness. It's bonded to that. It can't move. It's attached to something. It's caught in something. It's entangled in something. You can liberate yourself so that you can roam the world, right? Or the universe. Because we're not bonded to the earth either. We're not bonded to the universe either. Dissolve into the formless. Dissolve the bonds. Or the boundaries of the body, which are just conceptualized. They don't exist. They're illusory in their nature, right? So you can liberate yourself on the, you can just liberate yourself, come into liberation, right? This is all that's needed in order to really experience that experience of bliss. There's nothing else. It's all unconditional love. That's God. Right? And then you can get deeper and deeper into bliss. That's going to be it for today's video. I do thank everybody for watching once again. Peace out, one love, and have a great evening.